Hey guys, my name is Manny Odesanya, and I'm the creator of Connolly Comedy. Showing my license plate real nice. Alright, getting it. Making out with Emily Burke. Backseat of the old Scion, Simba the Scion.
You ain't even gonna be able to walk tomorrow when I'm done with you, girl.
Oh, she was so hot back then.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna beat it up like you owe me some money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna choke you till you scream.
I hate you.
I love you.
She meant that. Emily does not like me.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Me, you
No, really
tonight.
did.
No condoms.
All right, I'll see you later, baby. My room.
Yeah,
you
iconic
there.
line.
Okay, bye, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Really great seeing you tonight.
I love Emily's reaction. Ryan is priceless. Good reminiscing on some old memories. The video that got me my foot in the door to the industry. Backstory behind the shoot. A year earlier, me and my soon-to-be roommate on Connolly Street, Michael Mullen, we were walking to the Panthers Den, I think, from class on Georgia State University's campus, and he was like, "Hey man, I had this dream about you the other night. It's like you were making out with your girlfriend April, was it, from high school? You guys were in the backseat of a car, and you're in an Uber home." And you get to the house, you say all this dirty shit to her, and you kiss her goodbye. Bye, Mr. and Mrs. Tolley. Have a great night. He was like, all the stories that you told me about you in high school. That's exactly how I imagine your time with your girlfriends. I used to say and do the dirtiest things to April in Mr. and Mrs. Tolley's car. I know her dad wanted to kill me. Her dad wanted to destroy me. He stopped us from having sex. I would have lost my virginity in high school. I was like, that's a great idea. But at that point, I was in production one. I barely knew how to work a camera. So I was really nervous. I just held on to the idea while I took production one, and I was writing scripts all the time at that point. Short stories, plays, things like that, short film scripts. I had taken writing short films or something like that. So I had an idea of screenplay structure and what it looked like. After production one, my future editor, Naoto Abe, he pretty much shot my first short film. He directed it. I directed it, but like he was telling me, all right, if you do this, it'll do this. And if you do this, it'll do that. So I didn't really do much on that. And then somebody else edited it for the most part. I did a little bit of editing on Wormhole, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So my brother Tosin ends up hiring me on a short film shoot for Racetrack. They had me shoot a corporate video for them. So I asked Aubrey to help me. My brother didn't pay me, but I paid Aubrey $50, and she taught me how to make film. She taught me how to edit. She taught me how to use a hard drive. She taught me how the micro USB chip worked. She taught me everything that I needed to know. So a couple months later, we had some neighbors move in. We had some neighbors before them literally move in the week before. So this was like pure kismet. Is that what it's called? Kismet? And Michael saw them moving in. He was out on the porch smoking some pot. They left to go get some food, and they left in the garage door open in this house in the middle of the hood. They get robbed. Michael watches them get robbed. He watches these other neighbors come in, take all their stuff, pack it up, box it, and leave. Michael watches the whole thing, and I was like, why didn't you call the cops? He's like, I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. Those guys were like, dude, no way. I'm not living in this neighborhood. They move out. Some new kids move in, Ryan, Tanner, and I think his last guy's name was John. Over at Ryan's house, we're just having some beers. I pitched him this idea, and I was like, hey, I need someone to play the dad. Will you play the dad? I don't know if I'm ready to do this. I haven't written the script yet, but I've had this idea for a while. I think it'd be really funny. Do you want to help me do it? He was like, yeah, I'll shoot it. So I found my DP, and then I told Aubrey, like, hey, I have this idea. I think it's pretty funny. Would you want to play the mom? I'd already approached Emily, and she said no. Aubrey had to convince her that it was just work and that I'd be professional and X, Y, and Z, even though I don't even know why. Like, I never even hit on Emily. I just buy a bunch of beers, and I invite a bunch of people in my house. There's a whole party going on. Mac Sickler is in the trunk. Ryan was operating the camera, and Mac was in the trunk holding sound. He just wasn't just like chilling in the trunk. He was running sound in the trunk. We start shooting, and I'm making out with Emily, and Mac was like, dude, is it pretty awesome making out with Emily? I was like, nah, dude, it's just kissing a girl. I don't have any feelings for Emily. It was weird. Ryan Freeman was acting really strange on set. He works at Apple now as an executive, and he worked at Vice. And I was like, all right, I think we're good. He's like, no, let's do some more. Let's do some more. Tell her how you want to fuck her with your big dick. On this big dick. Dude, This is for YouTube, man. Kids are probably gonna see this. That's so inappropriate, but that's just the kind of guy he is. I was on my new account, Money Odesanya, and I was looking at approved users, and for some reason, his name was on there, even though I never gave him access to my account. So, Ryan, like, I don't know if I need to see you in court. I think you've been up to some pretty strange business behind my back. We rap, me and my friends go party that night. It's a great night. Just upload it to YouTube. I sent it to everyone. I sent it into Tosh. A couple days later, literally like 3 or 4 days after I posted the video, this guy named Greg gives me a call and he's like, hey man, we saw your video. Tosh loved it. So we want to feature your viewer of the week. We're going to offer you $200. Dude, I had a friend. He had a whole agent reach out to him and negotiate a deal for $10,000. This dude got $10,000? I got 200. What the hell? And you use the no condoms line on Brinkleberry.
We could die in here. Don't you get it?
Oh, I'm about to get it. No condoms.
Where did you...
Without giving me credit or pay for that. You made it so that a black guy says the line to a girl who looks oddly like Jessica Salomone. I don't think that was coincidence. That's not funny. I don't know. I was never a fan of Tosh. Only episode I've seen is the episode that we were barely watched that. The episode of Spelling Bee Kid. I won the Spelling Bee like 3 years in a row. I was selected very intentionally. And it's funny, like Emily actually tried to hook up with me right after we released it. I don't know if that's taboo to say. My relationship with her kind of devolved. It was really good all throughout college. Then I went up to Late Show in New York. My relationship with everyone changed. No one was the same to me. I went to one party and everyone was so excited I was back. And the next one, everyone was super cold to me. I wore my Late Show jacket. Maybe that was the wrong move. I'm over here trying to flex on everybody. I wasn't really. I thought it was like people would be proud. But people were like really standoffish. All the kids who were in the Connolly group were cold to me. Emily was the worst. I went to New York with Emily. I have never been around someone who acted more two-faced and just racist. She's not acting, and when she says I hate you, she really means that she's a racist. So is Aubrey and Ryan, and don't even get me started on Robert, blackface wearing Robert Smith. Ryan's hacked my accounts. What did Connolly turn into? I thought it was one group that I was making with my friends. We were gonna have become, if not famous, make some timeless memories that we would carry on with us for the rest of my life. But now it's like starting that channel, especially the second run, was like the greatest regret of my life. Those kids are the worst. They're all spoiled rich kids who want nothing but the worst for me. It was a cool video, it was a good experience, but I wouldn't do it again. This would not have been my first outing. I didn't realize that going viral on your first video. I didn't even go viral. I just got on TV. Getting on TV for your first comedy appearance, I didn't realize that people were going to judge me by that character for the next 5 to 10 years. That's a lesson for the future. If I do this movie, the character's got to be right, because I know that everyone's going to judge me, especially with how long I spent researching it. It was called A Way Out, then The Trap. Most recently it was called but I'm changing the name to avoid any association with I have a lot of stories to tell from the time in Connolly. I've been really quiet about it. The second run, everyone who was a part of that was terrible. Mark Gamble, Robert Smith, James McHunt, Jay Spencer Gabbert, Chris Brown, any of those guys, they're all terrible people. Josh Lansky, awful guy. Those kids are all racist. This channel was meant to be a Dave Chappelle style type of comedy. It devolved into something very ugly. It mirrored real life. From everything from Crime Pays to Alcoholics Anonymous. All these videos end up mirroring real life in a really dark and sinister way. Even Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, it mirrors real life in a very dark way. Things that April Tolley, Eliza Olsen have done to me, my high school girlfriends and their families have done to me in the name of the Christian faith, in the name of racism, and white supremacy have been atrocious and disgusting. Michael Mullen, you're a terrible friend. Sorry I never gave you credit publicly. I don't know if that meant you needed to set me up to go to jail or any of the other stuff that you were involved in. That conversation when you called me and snitched a bunch of gossip about memories that I had worked hard for years to get over, and I had done a lot of spiritual work and meditation and practice to try to overcome. Just rubbed that in my face like, yeah, all that shit was intentional. You know? I can't even tell you what kind of sociopath Michael Mullen is. He is a snake. Man, screw Connolly Comedy.